Hi everybody, how we doing? Matt from Hannah Fields, back with a market garden update for early November. It's the 5th of November today, a full moon, and I thought the energy was perfect to do a video and show you around the growing space and show you how we're shaping up as we get into this final third of autumn. It's been a mild autumn so far. You know, it's been quite dry at times as well. It's been wet, but mainly dry. And like I say, quite warm. It's been 17 today, which is a bit crazy for the first week in November, and that's been evident in the growing space. The warmth, it affects crops in a positive way. But let's have a look at these crops and show you how we're shaping up. So I'm starting down here on our bed number 2, as we call it, and I'll show you this beautiful rainbow chard, which is continuing to crop really well. It is slowing down. The leaves are getting smaller as the plants get older. That's quite normal, but it'll continue to give us many harvests as we get into that sort of early part of winter. It will slow down over the winter, continue to sort of grow again in February to April, and then in April it will go to seed. That's kind of the pattern with our rainbow chard based on when we sow it. And it's the same sort of story really for our beautiful kale. So Calavanero and curly kale is doing the same thing. It's giving us leaves, many harvests, but they're smaller at this time of year, and it'll continue to tickle us with harvests for the next sort of month or so, and it will slow down in winter and do the same thing as the rainbow chard, grow nicely in Feb till April, and then go for seed in April. If you are new to growing rainbow chard and kale, especially if you like eating these sort of these vegetables, a great one to grow because you get so many harvests, and they're a good crop to grow in terms of their ease. So always recommend them to new growers. Our runner beans are still runner beaning. They're still giving us crops. I was hoping they'd start slowing down a bit and fattening up and, you know, getting ready to go to seed and give us what we need for our crop next year, but no, there's still a little bit of flower here and there. Let me just see if I can see some. I saw some earlier and I was like, why are you still flowering? But it's been mild, like I say. I can't quite spot the flower at the minute, but yeah, I'm hoping, oh there we are, flower, as you can see. I'm hoping that it will slow down a little bit more now, and these will fatten up a little bit more before I can pick them, before we get frost. So I'm hoping that these will slow down before it gets too cold, and the beans haven't formed enough for me to harvest them and let them fatten up at home. But yeah, just a sign of the warm autumn that we've had. Our beans are still cropping, which is crazy. And this is our main bed down here on Hannah's, and it's been great this year. It's done really well. I thought I'll show you this side first in terms of where we're at with this second crop. Everything on here is second crops, by the way. So our Brussels are starting to make an appearance. They're a bit of a late arrival. We are getting 1 or 2 plants now really thickening up with Brussels sprouts, which is great because I love them. But they're very sort of slow in terms of their height growth. Can't tell you why it's happened this year. It's not something that normally happens, but they've done it anyway. But they're still giving us food, so that's the main thing. As long as they're harvesting for us, that's great. And next to them we put in these purple Savoy cabbages, which they're a bit slow, if I'm honest, in terms of their size and growth as well. I anticipated these cropping now around the sort of early part of November. Looking at them, I don't think they're going to crop for another sort of 3 or 4 weeks, which is okay. But just goes to show you, when you grow something new for the first time, I've never grown these variety before. You know, you think you know what to expect, and sometimes it doesn't happen that way, which is great. So we'll keep an eye on them, and hopefully we'll have some lovely Savoys at some point this autumn. These cabbages, however, have done great. Our lovely, beautiful red ruby cabbages that have given us many harvests so far in the last sort of month or so, and it's great because they've not been all growing at the same time. So as they're ready, we're harvesting them to eat or to sell, and it just allows a nice flow of crop as opposed to them all being ready at the same time. So yeah, they're doing really well. I think it's been good conditions for them this year, and I'm really happy with how our red cabbages have done. Same with the leeks. We're harvesting our leeks now. We have been doing so for about 2 or 3 weeks, and they're a popular vegetable down here, and they've done extremely well. I can't grumble with how they've grown. These have been in since June, and they were multi-sown. and followed potatoes, and they've been cropping, like I say, for a couple of weeks now. But they've been ready maybe a bit longer than that, but we've been enjoying them, and no issues with like allium leaf miner this year, which has been great. But we've literally had this net on, apart from weeding a couple of times, a bit of light weeding. It's been on since we planted them out until we harvest them. So I think that's helped. But allium leaf miner doesn't seem to have been rife this year. So yeah, that's always positive for us growers. And I'll just take you down here. So this is our purple broccoli, which is doing really well. It was growing quite slow, but it seemed to have picked up over the last sort of 5 or 6 weeks. And this will give us a crop in April. It's my favourite vegetable, so I always look forward to that. And our final batch of beetroot underneath, the leaves were going a bit funny, so I just chop them off and allow new growth. And also that allows you to get some nice little like leaf beet sort of samples for your salad mixes, which is always a nice little sort of to have in your salads. You know, beet leaves are that sort of gourmet looking stuff that you get in fancy salad bags. Well, you can do it yourself if you grow beetroots. Like I say, chop the leaves off, let the little ones grow, and pick them and enjoy. Okay, polytunnels, all change, all different. It's all leafy stuff in here now, which is pretty much how it is every sort of autumn. You know, we get to sort of like mid-October, and then anything that's of summer variety related we take out. And we also interplant some stuff before our summer crops come out as well. And we prepare for autumn, winter and spring. So it's all leafy stuff. It's things like mizunas and spring onions for next year, curly kale, varieties of lettuce that can withstand cold, things like Valador and that sort of jazz. We've got some lovely pak choi as well, so some nice brassicas for autumn. In fact, these pak choys are just starting to come ready. They grow so quick. I would recommend pak choi if you enjoy them. 5 or 6 weeks and you can be eating them from when you've sown them. But slugs do like them, and so do snails, so just beware. You might have to put some protection in place. But yeah, as you can see, these are doing really well, and this is our second batch and it's nearly ready, and I am happy because I love pak choi. Same down here, mizunas and frills and that sort of thing. Great crops, these Asian greens, to grow at this time of year and into winter. And then what I've done is some of our earlier sort of salads, I say earlier, salads that are a bit younger than our main crop, I've brought them inside and planted them inside, as you can see. That way we just prolong these sort of mixed varieties of lettuce. They might go off the board a bit if I leave them outside, so I always dig them up, undisturbing the root structure, put them inside the poly and just prolong them a little bit. Coriander, another crop that you can grow at this time of year. Well, I say this time of year, if you sow this sort of like early August and get this in the polytunnel, you know, in sort of mid-October, late October, it gives you a nice little tickle over that winter period. It grows like bonkers as you get into March next year. More herbs that enjoy this time of year. Parsley, again, end of July, early August, get your parsley sown and you'll enjoy it throughout the winter and into early spring next year. It doesn't mind the chill, just giving it a little bit of a haircut. There's a few leaves on here that aren't great, and yes, it's quite an abundant crop is the old parsley, so a good one I also recommend for autumn. And it's similar in here really, although in here I am having a few problems with caterpillars. I keep clearing them and then finding more on my crops, but I guess they've got to eat something. But I don't know where they hide. They are, so I hide and seek with caterpillars at this time of year sometimes. But similar crops, you know, I've got things like, you know, Russian kale, and as you can see, these are a bit more eaten, these pak choi, than the other ones. But similar crops really. Some nice mustards over here, which are great to put in salad mixers at this time of year. And then yeah, a few sort of spinach plants, more sort of you know, indoor rainbow chard, more kales, and then just some carrots that are pretty much ready, but we just take the tops off, let new growth come back, and we eat them throughout the winter. Just pick 1 or 2 as we need them. So if you have got space in your polytunnels, I would encourage you to sow them sort of June, July in your polys, and it just gives them a nice space to sort of grow over the winter and late autumn period, and you're less susceptible to problems having them outside, I find anyway. Okay, we'll take you over to, oh, it smells really green here. We've just cut the grass, as you can see. We're hoping this is the final cut of the year. Cutting grass is great on here because at this time of year we've got all the leaves falling, and you literally, when you're cutting the grass, you're getting a 50-50 mix of leaf and green, your grass clippings, and it's great for compost. So another thing you can be doing this year now, especially as we get into sort of like later parts of autumn and winter, get your compost made, get your materials made, get it in a bin, and just enjoy them delights of new compost next year as you get into sort of mid-spring. Outdoor salad, as you can see, it's quite thin now. It starts to go off the boil a little bit, not much left, but it's given us many harvests, and we'll be replenishing this with homemade compost at some point, ready to grow again next year. Okay, what can I show you before we wrap this video up? Flowers. Our flowers have come back alive again. Our cosmos, mizunas and violets and all that sort of thing. You know, it was dying down, and then I think because it's been warm this autumn, it's it's starting to go again, which is great because it means we have plenty of beautiful colour around the growing space. But these are, yeah, I mean, they're delightful. I absolutely adore these. But yeah, it's just a sign, like I say, of a mad warm autumn. The other week we planted out garlic in this bed here. I wasn't going to grow anything again this year in this space, but I decided to put our garlic in. So that's all netted over now. That'll protect it from allium leaf miner as it grows. And that'll crop probably end of June, mid-June next year. So that's that garlic in. I recommend getting your garlic in any time from sort of like autumn equinox through to sort of the first week in November. I find that's a good window to get garlic in. And yes, we will hopefully be enjoying the delights of that garlic as we get into early summer next year. Cauliflowers, doing similar really to the red cabbages, giving us little harvests here and there. They're not sort of all cropping at the same time, which is great. Because obviously things like cauliflowers, you only have a certain amount of time to pick them before they start to open up. Same thing with broccoli. So the fact that they're sort of, you know, taking their time with themselves is great. You know, they're giving us one or two here and there, and yeah, it's lovely. It's great. And then this bed here, this has pretty much had a mix and match of stuff. It's been mainly sort of turnips and things like spring onions and Swedes as its second crop. Before that we had sort of lettuce and beetroots and lovely things like that in there. And Swedes have done great this year. They're really fat. They've done really, really well. I'm really happy with our Swedes. And we're just picking these as we want them. And I was about to say we're still picking the turnips, but there's not many left now. They're quite popular down here. But turnips, again, another great brassica to grow for autumn because they grow so quickly, and you can multi-sow them and they don't take a lot of space up. So multi-sown turnips, spring onions, all that lovely jazz. Make sure you sow it at the end of summer and you'll enjoy them harvests as you get into the early to later part of autumn. Just another sign of the times really. Look at this nasturtium. I thought I'd show you this before we consider wrapping up. It's just going bonkers. It's two plants that sort of grown in our compost heaps, and yeah, I mean, these leaves are delicious anyway. I mean, I love them. We put these in our salad bags, by the way. They're quite a peppery taste, very high in vitamin C as well, so lots of good nutritional value. But they're still flowering. I hope you can see the flowers down there. There's a few, and yeah, so we're getting extended nasturtium harvest at the minute. I mean, as soon as it gets cold and goes to frost, these will die. So we're just enjoying them, and they're covering up the compost space, which is quite attractive. So I'm not going to complain. And finally, compost. I was saying earlier about making compost at this time of year. Just an example of, you know, the mix we're getting. You know, it's sort of leaves and grass. So it's a 50-50 mix straight away, which is great. So taking advantage of all that lovely material, getting it in our compost bays like this, mixing it all up, and hopefully giving us lovely compost resources for next year. Okay, I think that's about it for the growing space down here this early November. I hope you found this video useful. Please feel free to like, share and subscribe to this new-ish channel, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next video. Lots of love, take care.